So today we are starting another way of seeing the data analysis, that is theory of hypothesis. Okay, so inference. This is one way of inference. We have already seen estimation. Okay, so there are two ways we can say this. So inference we have two ways. One way is estimation, and the second is by hypothesis test. Okay, so this we have already covered. Now we shall start this hypothesis test. So let us first see what does it mean. What is the meaning of hypothesis? Hypothesis, one way is to say that claim. Okay. For example, I claim something, or some our institute claims something, or some person claims something. Claim means this thing may be like this. Okay. So in terms of number, for example, we can say that average marks obtained by students in a particular paper be some number. Okay, maybe be 60. So this is a claim actually. Okay, claim or hypothesis. Average marks obtained by students in a particular paper be 60 or 55 or 75. So this is claiming. Someone is claiming. Okay. Now, if you want to check whether this claim is correct or not, then what to do? We have to perform hypothesis test. Now, how we perform or how we check this claim is true or not? So we take some data or sample. Okay, because the population is so large, it is just not possible to uh, uh, note down the numbers obtained or numbers the student have got from particular paper. It is just not possible to note every numbers of everybody. Okay, so what we can take a sample. A sample usually we take large sample. Okay, because 30 is a very small number, though it is called large. Okay, so we can take a sample of 30, 40, 50, and then on the basis of their numbers, we can say whether the claim or hypothesis is correct or not. Okay, so in this way we perform the hypothesis test. So this is not average marks only. In any situation, for example, some particular company claim that the scooters or bikes or cars they make as average this much average. Okay, 40 kilometer per liter or 50 kilometer per liter. So these are claim. Okay, so we have to check this. So this is the meaning of hypothesis. Hypothesis means the claim by someone, and now we have to uh, test that claim using the hypothesis test. So this is a, let us see the concept of null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis. So whatever the claim is, that we take as the null hypothesis. If someone says the average would be this, you just take, for example, here. experimenter may be interested in plausibility of the statement mu is equal to 20. So mu is equal to 20 will be the null hypothesis. Okay. Now, if you want to prove or disprove, then what you have to compare this statement with some other statement. And the other statement is called alternate hypothesis. So it may be mu less than 20, mu greater than 20, or mu is equal to 20. So there are three types of statements which are alternate to this null hypothesis. Okay. So the word hypothesis indicates that this statement, which statement? This is the null hypothesis, will be tested with an appropriate data set. Okay. Now, appropriate, this word is very important. So sampling must be very appropriate. Otherwise, your prediction would be correct. Otherwise, it may give a false result. So, as I said earlier, this null hypothesis will be associated with an alternative hypothesis, and this is very important thing. Okay, this equal to sign always comes in the null hypothesis. So this is, there should not be any confusion that which statement would be my null hypothesis. So equal to will always be in the null hypothesis. With equal to, it may be sometimes less than also occurs, sometimes greater than also occurs, but equal to will always be there. Okay. Now, if it is less than or equal to, then alternate will be greater than. Okay. If it is greater than or equal to, then alternate will contain less than inequality. All right. But it is simply equal to sign, then we have another option, that is mu not equal to mu 0. So if it is only mu equal to mu 0, we have three options. All right. One is mu not equal to mu 0. This one we can take alternate, or depending upon the situation, I can take mu less than mu 0, or we can take mu greater than mu 0. So there are three possibilities if only equal to is there. But then if either less than or equal to is associated with equal to sign, then you have only one possibility. So this is about null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis. So if you are taking mu not equal to mu 0, then this is two-sided problem. Okay, two-sided hypothesis test. But if it is either mu less than mu 0 or mu greater than mu 0, then it would be one-sided only. So just remember that in case of confidence interval, we have also two-sided and one-sided intervals. So likewise, we have two-sided or one-sided hypothesis test. So this we are understanding with the help of population mean, but this is whatever we are learning here or studying here are also true for any other parameter. Okay, whether it is standard deviation or difference between two means, or population proportion, or difference between two population proportion, or ratio up to standard deviations. Okay. So this we have already seen. No need to So these are one-sided. Okay, if it is less than or equal to 0, then this will be mu greater than or equal to mu 0. And similarly, if it is mu greater than or equal to mu 0, then it will be mu less than mu 0. So these are two one-sided tests. So let us see in some cases, some examples, how H0 and alternate hypothesis HA are defined. So for example, here you can see that a supplier claims that its product made from a graphite epoxy composite material have a tensile strength of 40. Okay. So an experimenter may test this claim by collecting a random sample of products and measuring their tensile strength. Okay, so we will collecting a random sample and then measure the tensile strength of each sample or each element, and then we can decide whether the claim is correct or not. Okay, so claim is what? This mu is actually here mean of tensile strength. Okay, so this is very obvious. You have to take H0 mu is equal to 40. Now, so if someone claims that strength is 40, if strength is 41, no problem. Okay, or if it is 45, no problem. All right. So what is the problem for us? Problem for us is if you claim mu is equal to 40 and if it is less than 40, then I think I see the problem. Okay, it should not be less than 40. Similarly, in case of mileage, okay, if someone claims that his vehicle has mileage of mean mileage of say 40 kilometers per hour or per liter, okay, then if it gives more than 40, I do not have any problem, or you should not have any problem. Okay, the problem is if it is less than 40. Okay, so similarly in this case, if someone claims that tensile strength is 40, okay, the problem is that if it is less than 40, then I am not satisfied. Okay, and therefore, what you expect that this should not happen, that should be your alternate hypothesis. That what I think it should not be less than 40. So less than 40 should be our alternative hypothesis. This is one way to see this. Another, if you want to test it two-sided, less than is also problem, greater than is also problem, then you can take alternative hypothesis as mu not equal to 40. But in real sense, okay, in case of mileage or even in this, greater than 40 is not problem to me. Okay, so what I should take? I should test this hypothesis with HA mu less than 40. Okay. Similarly, the machine that produces metal cylinders is said to make cylinders with a diameter of 50 mm. Is it calibrated correctly? Regardless of the machine setting, there is always some variation in the cylinders produced. So the diameter may be less than 50 mm or sometimes maybe greater than 50 mm. So it makes sense to conclude that the machine is calibrated correctly if the mean cylinder diameter mu is equal to the set amount. Okay. Now in this case, in this problem, what I see, less than 50 is also a problem and greater than 50 is also a problem. Okay, and therefore this is I think appropriate hypothesis. Okay, so that is, this will always be there. Null will always contain equal to sign, but here whether it is less than or equal to or greater than or less than depends upon the situation. But in this case, in this problem, army less than 50 or greater than 50, both are problem. And therefore, appropriate null alternate hypothesis will be mu not equal to 50. Similarly, third one. A manufacturer claims that its car achieved an average of at least 35 miles per gallon in highway driving. A consumer interest group tests this claim by driving a random selection of the cars in highway condition and measuring their fuel efficiency. If mu denotes the true average mileage per gallon achieved by the cars, then the consumer interest group is interested in testing the one-sided hypothesis. As I said earlier, this is my interest. Okay, that if someone claims average is 35, then it should not be less than 35. That's all. If it is greater than or equal to 35, no problem. And therefore, null hypothesis will be this one. And therefore, if by test, if I reject null hypothesis, I can claim that the claim by the company is false. Okay. So now we'll see how to accept or reject these hypotheses, or which one is accepted, which one is rejected, that we'll see. Okay, so one way is to do this is using p-values. Okay, so first we'll see what p-values we accept null hypothesis or we reject null hypothesis. Okay, and the second part we'll see how to calculate this p-value. So first we should know this important thing is that it is probability. What is p-value? P-value is probability. Okay, the probability, and therefore its value will always lies between 0 and 2. Correct? This is one thing. So a data set can be used to measure the plausibility of null hypothesis at 0 through the construction of a p-value. The smaller the p-value, the less plausible is the null hypothesis. That is, there is less chances of null hypothesis to be true. So if very less p-value, we can reject null hypothesis, or we don't accept null hypothesis. Okay, this is one way. So this is one of the ways people have interpreted. Okay, so we divided this 0, 1 value between 0 and in 3 parts actually. This is 0.01 here, and then we have 0.10. So if p value is here, r p value is here. Okay, so not plausible means we reject null hypothesis. That is p value less than 0.01. So we reject. But p value greater than 0.10, we accept. Accepted 0, rejected 0. But in between, that is here, that if p values lies between 0.01 and 0.10, then we can say that we are not decided. Okay, whether to accept H0 or reject H0. In that case, what we can do, okay, we can change our data set. We can include more elements, okay. In this way, we can resolve the issue here. So now rejection of the null hypothesis. So what I have said, p-value is smaller than 0.01 is generally taken to indicate that null hypothesis H0 is not a plausible statement. So the null hypothesis H0 can be rejected in favor of the alternative hypothesis. This we have seen. One way. P-value larger than 10% is often. So this is the situation. P-value larger than 0.10 is generally taken to indicate that the null hypothesis is a plausible statement. Generally, okay, taken to indicate is accepted in this case. But accepted doesn't mean that it is true. Okay, this is very important here. Accepted this one. This does not mean that the null hypothesis H0 has been proven to be true. So if you accept null hypothesis, it doesn't mean that the claim is true. All right. Now, in case of intermediate area, here, what is intermediate area? This 1% to 10%. There is some evidence that the null hypothesis is not plausible, but the evidence is not overwhelming. Okay, there are some evidence. कुछ evidence है कि वो सही नहीं हो सकता, but we are not very sure. So this case is inconclusive, but suggests that perhaps a further look at the problem is warranted. If it is possible, the experimenter may wish to collect more information that a larger data set to help clarify the matter. Okay. So this is one way. Sometimes this is also useful. Sometimes a cutoff value 0.05. So you know that we have 0.1 here, 0.1 here, here 0.01 is there, and then we have 0.10 somewhere, 0.10. Okay, so what it says, sometimes this value is taken 0.05. Okay, so it is I think this mid value between 0 and 1.0. Here we are anyhow we are accepting, so there is no problem here. The problem only lies here actually. This position of this point will be little left to this. Okay, but anyhow, so sometimes if it is greater than 0.05, we accept the null hypothesis, and if it is less than 0.05, we reject. Okay, so this is the meaning of this. 0.05 is implied, and the null hypothesis is accepted if the p-value is larger than 0.05 and rejected if it is less than 0.05. So this we have already seen, intermediate. So rejection, rejection of the null hypothesis allows the experimenter to conclude that mu equal to mu 0. This is not correct, I think. It is mu not equal to mu 0. Okay. So all these things. So a null hypothesis cannot be proven to be true. This we have already seen. So accepting doesn't mean proving. That is the meaning value. Okay. So now we'll see how to calculate p-values. So this is important. This is given in many books, but so what is p-value? Is the probability of obtaining this data set or worse when the null hypothesis is true. Okay. What is p-value? P-value is the probability of obtaining this data set or worse when the null hypothesis is true. Okay. So beside this, I think I am also not able to explain what is the meaning of this exactly. Okay. Statements is okay, but then how to associate this statement with the acceptance or rejection of null hypothesis, that is a problem. So we'll see. Okay, details are given here, but I don't think we require that much of details here. So let us see what given here. P-value explain the interpretation. Okay. A p-value larger than this. So I think this discussion here is important, but I will not going into the details of the discussion. Okay. So the concept of this t statistics is coming here. Okay. So let me discuss this little bit. So t statistics are z statistics. Okay. We have already seen z statistic. Okay. And z is statistic, you know that z is equal to this is statistics minus E of statistics upon AC of statistics. So this we know that it is standard normal distribution. Okay. Now in this case, the mean is actually our statistic, and so it is x bar here. E of x bar is mu0. Okay. And then if we have a larger data set, then we can use z. Smaller, we can use t. Okay, that we know that. And in that case, if it is small, we have s here. And in z also, if standard deviation is not known, but the data set contains more than 30 elements, then we can use sample standard deviation only to write here. Okay. So all these things that we have seen in case of finding confidence interval. Okay. So let us start here with t statistics. Later on, we will see z statistics. Okay. So we know that this is value we have already seen, and we also know that this is actually distribution, satisfied t distribution having n-1 degree of freedom. Okay, so DOF is here n-1. This we know. So we can calculate this value, okay, for the given data set. All right, mu0, we know that this is the claim value. X0 we can obtain from the sample. This is number of elements in the sample. This is also known. And this is standard deviation of the sample elements. So everything is known. We can find t value. All right. So I think you should see this figure. This we have already seen. This one. So p value is what? This is the area, shaded area. Okay. So in this case, p value is equal to shaded area, and because this t distribution is again symmetric, okay, you just calculate one area and multiply by 2. Okay, this plus this, so this we can do 2 times. This is probability Tn minus 1 is less than or equal to this minus modulus t. This value you can see. Okay, so you just calculate this area and multiply by 2. So you get the sum of these two areas. All right. So this is our p value. So once a p value is obtained, then just see whether the value is 0.01 and then 0.10. If it is greater than 0.10, you can accept null hypothesis. If it is less than 0.0, you will reject null hypothesis. Okay, that we know that. So this is a way of calculating p value. So this we know that this is equal to, and therefore p value can be taken as x greater than or equal to. Okay, so x greater than or equal to is this part. Okay, I have written this x is actually Tn minus 1. There it is written as x is equal to Tn minus 1. That is t distribution with n minus 1 degree of freedom. Which one? This t. Sorry, x. This is t distribution with n minus 1 degree of freedom. So this way we can calculate the p value. So this is just 2 times this area. So just see how to find the p value here. I am not going to solve the hypothesis. Yes, we are just concerned with how to find p value. Calculation of p value. The two-sided hypothesis is there. This one. Suppose we have H0, mu is equal to 10, and HA is mu not equal to 10. And suppose our data set has 15 elements. Mean of the data is 10.6, and standard deviation is 1.61. So then you can calculate the statistic. Okay, you can see that it is coming to 1.44, and because this n is equal to 15, and therefore this will be degree of freedom will be 14 here. So p value will be 2 times probability of x greater than or equal to 1.44. Okay, so this is t statistics value. X greater than or equal to 1.44, where the random variable x has a t distribution with 14 degrees of freedom. Okay, now this value you can find in the table, t table. Okay, if you want, you can see this 14 and 1.44, greater than or equal to 1.44 with 14 degrees of freedom. All right. So we can calculate the value like this, and since this value is 0.172, which is greater than 0.10, we can accept the null hypothesis. Okay, like this. Now, similarly, we have one-sided test. So one-sided, we have already discussed. These are two hypothesis tests. Here, mu is less than or equal to, so the alternate will be greater than, and here it is greater than or equal to, so alternate will contain less than. Now here in this case, p value is, in the first case, p value is equal to probability of x greater than or equal to k. All right. And in the second case, so if it is greater than sign, then this is also greater than or equal. If it is less than sign, this is less than or equal. So in this case, second case, probability of x less than or equal to. So this at least it is easy to remember. Okay, if alternate hypothesis contain greater than sign, okay, the p value will, in p values also the probability will contain greater than or equal to. If it is less than sign, it will contain less than or equal to sign. All right. So in the first case, it will be, for example, this one. This is your t distribution, and suppose this is t. Okay. So in the first case, p value will be this. Okay. Similarly, in the second case, it will be left side one, this area. So this p value calculation, let us see again. And here the hypothesis case, we have this one. Null hypothesis, mu less than or equal to 125, and alternative greater than. Okay, and greater than, and therefore p value will be equal to probability of x greater than or equal to t. So this t value will be obtained using the given data set sample. So sample mean is given here. What other things are given here? Suppose that a sample mean of x bar is observed. What is the p value? So the sample mean takes a value that corresponds to so sample mean. So this is slightly different. We are not directly getting the p value. Okay. So what it says, sample mean is 122.3 is observed. So what is the p value? Now since the sample mean takes a value that corresponds to a population mean mu contained within the null hypothesis, so the p value is immediately known to be at least 0.5. P value will be known to be at least 0.5. And its exact value is immaterial. How this value will be at least 0.5. And what is this greater than or equal to? So So greater than or equal to means if you say it is at least 0.5, it means that this is our midpoint. So T value will be somewhere here, okay, because I want area in the right, because it is alternate hypothesis is greater than or equal to. All right. So right of T. So the position of T will be here. So we have 125 here, and mu and what x bar is equal to 122.5 or something. Okay. Now you know that T is equal to, this is root L x bar minus mu. Okay, x bar minus mu upon s. Alright, and therefore we are saying that, so you can see that x bar is less than mu or mu 0, whatever it is. Okay, this is 122.5 and this is 125. So this is negative. These root n and s are always positive. So T value is negative and therefore its position will be here. And if it is here, okay, then the least value of P x greater than or equal to P will be less than or equal to 0, sorry, greater than or equal to 0.5. So least value will be 0.5. Otherwise, it will have contain more. Okay. So in this problem, you can see that we don't require to find the exact value of P because the value is so high. It is 0.5, much more than 0.1, and therefore we can easily accept the null hypothesis, right? But if it is other situation, I think, so this is one situation. Okay, let us see what is going on here. Suppose instead that sample mean of x bar 128.4 is observed with n is equal to 20 and s is equal to, so here everything is given. I can easily calculate 0.90 to the value of T. Okay, the data suggests that the null hypothesis is false. How plausible is the null hypothesis? The T statistics is 0.90. Okay, and then P value will be greater than this. This is 0.190. Okay, but 0.190 certainly it is greater than 0.10. Okay, where the random variable x at T distribution is, so that the null hypothesis is accepted and the experimenter conclude that the data set does not provide sufficient evidence to establish that the population mean is larger than the claimed mean. Okay. Since x bar is equal to, this is greater than mu 0, the data suggests that the null hypothesis is false. What was the problem initially? How this since x bar is 128 greater than mu 0, yes, the data suggests that null hypothesis is false. Okay, okay, no problem. So data itself says that, okay, The mean is 128.4. So naturally, because this is our alternate hypothesis, it is satisfying this one. This condition it is satisfying, and therefore naturally this will be false. Okay. But if we calculate the p-value, we get the different result. By p-value, we get the null hypothesis is accepted. Okay. You can see that because the value is 0.19, which is greater than 0.10, and therefore we, in this way, we calculate, we accept the null hypothesis, but practically, okay, it is incorrect. There may be another situation, I think, here. However, if a simple mean of 137.8 is observed, okay, which is much higher than 125. So in this case, you can see that we get 3.38 or 3.39, and therefore we get the value which is much smaller than p-value. Okay, so in this case, we reject p-value. Sorry, null hypothesis. All right. So at least what you can observe, or we can conclude from these three discussion that one is, if your t statistics value is larger, p value will be small. That is very obvious. Okay, t is larger implies p value will be smaller. Okay, and therefore there is more chances of accepting the null hypothesis. Okay, so we have three situations actually. One was here t1, then some another value we obtained here, and then we obtained some value here. Here we are undecided what to do. Okay, but the data suggests that null hypothesis should be rejected. The p-value doesn't. Okay, but here data and p-value both suggest that null hypothesis will be rejected. In clear cut here, in case of the first, we accept the null hypothesis. So this example, sandblasting can be convenient way of for removing paint from items without damaging their surfaces. The efficiency of the procedure depends on various factors such as the particle size of the sand or medium that is used, the blasting pressure, the distance of the blaster from the item, and the blasting angle. Okay, so all these parameters affect the blasting process. The data set shown below is the times in minutes. So this is one problem it is solved here. Okay, so this data set blast time in minutes. Okay, so the question here is, what evidence is there that the average blast time is less than 10 minutes? Okay, so average blast time is less than 10 minutes. What evidence? And therefore, this will be our alternate hypothesis, mu less than 10. We will take null hypothesis to be mu greater than or equal to 10. And by use of this data, that is by calculation of p-values and other things, if we reject null hypothesis, then you can say that this alternate hypothesis will be accepted. So in this case, you can see that calculation of t statistics. So all the values are given here. X bar we can calculate. Mean is mu0 is 10 minutes. S we can calculate the standard deviation of this, and root 6. Okay, there are 6 elements. So you can see that t value is minus 0.85, 0.857. So the value will be greater than or equal to 0.5. P value will be greater than or equal to 0.5 because this value is negative. So evaluation of P values, T this is consequently, this is T, okay, 5, then T 0.105. P value is larger than 0.10. Alternatively, exact computer calculation with P value as 0.216. Sorry, I was wrong. Wrong in this sense, this is less than actual. Okay, so this is less than means here, and this is your say this t value is minus 0.857. So this is value 0.8. So actually we are since it is less than, this is p value actually. So this area is actually your p values. Okay, so if this is p value, it will be less than 0.5. Okay, so this comes out to be actually 0.216. This is 0.216. So which is larger than 0.10. Null hypothesis is accepted. In conclusion is that data set does not provide sufficient evidence to establish that average blast time is less than 10 minutes. Okay. So larger means average blast time is greater than or equal to 10. Okay. So there is no evidence that blast time would be less than 10 minutes. Okay. So I think I should stop now because this significance level, and then p values we'll see next time. Okay. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me. Anybody? No question? Okay. Then I am stopping this recording. So first I should stop. Recording. Do you know anybody how to stop recording? This option I am not getting here. This.
सर मोर टैब में देखिए ना, वहां पे आई थिंक होगा सेटिंग्स में।
The setting you यहाँ पे मेरे पास एक रिएक्शन का ऑप्शन है, शेयर स्क्रीन तो हो गया, ठीक है, चैट का ऑप्शन है, पार्टिसिपेंट है, इसके अलावा और कोई दूसरा ऑप्शन दिख नहीं रहा। This recording button is there here.
सर शैलेन सर ज्वाइन हो गए हैं, तो होस्ट सेटिंग्स उनके पास चली गई है एक्चुअली।
अच्छा,
शैलेन सर को बंद करना पड़ेगा।
ओके 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 सर, कहा रहे सर? हेलो, ये लेकिन उन्होंने मेरे को दे दिया था तो
हाँ सर, बट अभी उन्होंने ज्वाइन किया है तो पोस्ट में उन्हीं का नाम आ रहा है।
ऐसा।
हाँ
तरफ से कोई आवाज नहीं आ रही आज। सर, कैन यू हियर मी?